Hi, welcome back to Meta Rules TV, where the underground meets the playground. I'm Jeff Rappaport.
I am Mighty Matt Gibbons.
And I'm Jeremy Myers from Neshaminy Creek.
Part 2.
Part 2.
All right, so we're talking about good beers. Let's talk about shit beers.
Okay.
Yeah, let's take a crap on some beers that we don't like.
Oh, man.
Is this bad for you? Maybe we shouldn't do this?
No, I don't have a problem. If there's one thing I probably do too much is open my mouth about fucking shitty beer, so.
Tell them about the pizza beer.
Yeah, have you had the pizza beer yet?
Who made that?
We kind of liked it.
Yeah, it wasn't really crappy. It was just,
I've seen it. I've never actually had it.
Mamma Mia pizza beer.
Yeah.
And we actually kind of liked
and
it.
it did taste like pizza.
Yeah.
I mean, it's, you know, 6 of one, half dozen the other. You know, it's if someone doesn't like it, someone else is gonna.
Yeah, we had to try it. What about what beers? What beers are overrated? What beers do you think people talk about a lot? Of course, that's not even allowed in this house, by the way.
Yeah.
Let's see. Beers that I think are overrated. I'm gonna kind of go off the cuff here just because. I mean, there's probably some craft beer guys that watch this. I'm certain of that, but like probably our core audience probably may not unless they're metalheads.
Right.
I think right now, like overrated beers would definitely be Heady Topper from The Alchemist. And actually, let me preface this by saying I think a lot of these beers are very good.
Just overrated.
I mean, it's sort of like bands. I come from a music and band background, so like a lot of the things it's so eerie. I mean, obviously, we can talk about as well as the record label side of things. It's so eerie how so much from the record label actually mimics or mirrors the brewery and vice versa, and it's the same thing. It's it's like hype bands,
Right.
And everyone has an opinion about them, like, oh, they're not that good, or like, oh, I don't really care, but they're the band at the moment because of whatever reason. And it's the same thing with beer. And like, for example, I think Heady Topper is a really good beer. Do I think it's worth $72 a case?
Oh my God! Right.
But you know what? I don't think it's worth $72 a case. I have a hard time believing that a lot of beers that
Trying to do the math, but that's actually it was with $2 a bottle, right?
well, if that's like almost it's like
No, that's more than that.
It's $3 a can.
There's 24 in there.
It's $3.
Yeah,
a can.
$3 a can. Yeah, $3.
So I mean, the thing with that is like one of the reasons why the beer is so highly sought after and hyped and like in my opinion overrated is that it's hard to find and that's one of the reasons that demand drives those things. And that's not to say it's not a good beer. It's just that like I don't know. I mean, I've had a million beers that are I don't want to say a million, but I've had a lot of beers that are similar or better to that beer, but like you'll never hear of them because they're made from this at a small brew pub here or there and there, and
Right.
And a lot of people can make those good beers, but like Heady Topper is in high demand because it's hard to find. It's canned. It's a really good IPA, but to me, I don't see the necessity of paying $72 for a case of beer.
What about beer that you just think is like ugh?
They're really shitty.
Yeah. I don't like the wine beers personally.
Barley
They
wines,
taste.
you mean? or-
Yeah, they
You mean
taste
barley
weird to
wines?
me. Yeah, I don't like the way that tastes.
I don't mind barley wines. Barley wines, it all depends on like how old they are. If they're really fresh and young, they are not all that good. But if you let them sit for a while, like 5-6 years,
Like real wine.
like real wine.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was gonna say, I'm not a big fan of Belgian wits. I think they can be well done, but like overall, I really don't. I don't really run into too many of them that are really well done, so I don't like them all that much.
About Colt 45. Like that.
If I'm gonna rock 40s, I'm not drinking Colt 45.
St. Ides.
St. Ides or Old
Yeah.
Maid, one of the two,
Steel. What's the thing called? Steel.
Steel Reserve.
Steel
Yeah.
Reserve.
Yeah, I mean, far be it for me to like say I haven't drank a million of those in my lifetime, but
Yeah.
there's a lot. I mean, yeah, I'd say it's like Heady Topper is a good beer, but it's overrated. Like, I've had multiple like 4-packs of it, and I don't need to find it again. There's a couple breweries I think that like for some reason, I mean, it's sort of the same thing. The exclusivity of the beer or like the demand or like how hard it is to find the beer really drives like
Right.
a hype or mystique or like just this aura about the beer or the brewery, and I think a lot of it's completely unwarranted. There's like the guy like Sean Hill at Hill Farmstead makes great beers, but like it's the same thing. I don't know if you saw there was an article or you used to be able to sell alcohol on a beer on eBay, and they just recently like restricted it.
Right.
And there was like a
It ruins everything.
huge trade of like people selling rare beers and hard to find beers and high demand beers and stuff like that. And like, you literally have people like going into bars and filling bottles, with beer, from the tap, like ordering a beer and putting it in a bottle and selling it on eBay. Like that shit happens, The New York Times, I'm pretty sure it was the Times did an article about like, people doing that at bars in Brooklyn and stuff like that. I'm like, it's fucking beer, man. Like if you I don't know. To me, it's like if you want to find beer that well, if the beer's that important to you and that's that well brewed, then you can't find it. Fucking make it yourself. That's not why I got into brewing, but like it's one of the challenges I see as a brewer is that like if I have a really a beer I enjoy a lot and it's really well made, I want to know or I want to figure out how that beer was made. I don't sit there and go on eBay and pay $80 for a fucking bottle.
I think people are always thinking of a way to make money. It's like when people are selling.
Oh, that's part of it.
When they're selling the Twinkies.
Oh, it's like the same thing with records, LPs and vinyl and shit like that. Like.
Yeah. Well, speaking about that, why don't you tell me because you're involved in the music scene too. So this is a music show. So why don't you tell us about your background?
I've been running a record label since 1996 called Jumpstart Records. Actually, our newest release that's comes out April 2nd, Tuesday, April 2nd, is from a band from Philadelphia, Westchester area, called Cloud United, an old punk band. This is their first record in 15 years. They had broken up and hadn't played a show in 13 years, and then got back together again and played Riot Fest over at Festival Pier 2 years ago, and then the band decided they want to do another record, and just from talking to them, I said, hey, yeah, let's do another record. So that actually, Plow's record would be my 89th release.
Wow, so you've been at this for a while.
Yeah, so 17 years now.
Wow.
So we've been doing that for a while, mostly concentrate on punk, hardcore, some reggae and ska in here, stuff like that, some pop rock every once in a while. But I mean, yeah, it's one of last year actually, it wasn't one of those intentional things that I decided to, open a brewery, get married, and have the busiest year the label's ever had. But we put out 11 records last year, which is by far the most we've ever done in a year.
Wow.
So, but yeah, I've been doing that since 1996, and
is it hard to do both now that you're doing this?
it's really hard. Luckily, I have some guys that work for me. Kevin, who handles all the mail order, and does like a lot of distro stuff and some press and publicity stuff. He comes in 3 days a week and helps me out with that. And then I have the other side of that too is we started a print shop associated with the record label. So all the stuff that you see, like my hoodie and the bag here, the tote bag, all that we printed ourselves. We actually have a print shop in our office. We've been printing actually. This will be our 12th year that the print shop's been up. So a lot of the money that's that we make in the print shop just gets shifted towards putting out records.
You guys are little Trumpies. Right?
What's that?
Little Donald Trump's.
No, I don't know about that.
Got like a whole empire going.
Trump
here.
makes money.
Yeah.
We just blow it on bands. But no, I mean we've been doing that for a while, and it's sort of like my playing music and being in bands and putting out records is sort of like my drug. I'm not addicted to crack. I'm just addicted to wasting money on fucking records and bands.
This is my drug where you're at right now.
Exactly.
Basically, just hanging out, talking metal and stuff.
Mine is bestiality.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Get out.
I like elves.
That's why the dog act put away. Huh?
Yeah.
No, he's not.
Exactly. He's not your thing. He's racist. he's a bestiality rapist. So.
That's awesome.
So now, do you ever? And you're married, okay? But do any of the guys do boops for beer?
I'm not super familiar with that. Is that it's a charity thing?
No, that's the thing I just made up.
Oh, you mean
Green
Yeah, show your boops for beer, yeah.
I've never actually done it, but I've had women at my wife. Thankfully, won't be watching this, because she's not in the metal at all. She might watch it just by chance.
She'll never get this far.
Yeah,
Should have watched part
Not
two.
even real fans get
Yeah.
this far.
Part two.
But I've had women offer and do it without actually asking them to show me their breasts just for
I'll give you a
beer.
beer.
Yeah.
Like at beer festival, it's funny what happens to people. When they're at a beer fest for 4 hours, and
Yes.
at the end of the beer fest, they turn into complete animals and they just don't give a shit. And I've seen even like 2 weeks ago we did the Philly Craft Beer Fest at the Navy Yard. It was like last call and everyone's walking out. And we had disconnected the kegs and we had the sand keys that